Hey everyone, this is Josh Shoemaker here again, joined with Dan Keenan here, and we're going to bring you the review for the all-new The Road. So it features similar core numbers to the original High Road, but it has the AI core tech in it, so for that it's going to bump down the RG 2 points and the differential 1 point. But conversely, compared to the R2S hybrid that was on the original, we now have the REX hybrid. So a little bit beefier cover, and the core numbers are pretty much identical to each other. So this lane that we're on now seems like it has probably a league set on it, so they're definitely hooking quite a bit, which is where I'd look to throw this ball. So we're probably going to start a little bit further left than most of our other reviews where we're trying to play a little bit straighter on the fresh. Oh. Alright. That one going right a little bit quick. And I definitely saw the friction and went. Probably going to have to jump a little bit more left than I already am with it, or try to get it up the lane a little bit more.
All right, so as Josh was saying, definitely it's very similar to the original High Road, just a little lower on the RG, a point lower on the differential. I did mine 4 3/4 by 4. I wanted pinned down. Just looking to kind of stabilize that break point a little bit more later in blocks.
I'm going to stay in the same spot as the last one, but move my eyes in 1 or 2, just try to get a little up the lane. Right's pretty crispy right now, so I'm going to try to stay away from getting it quite as far right as the last one. There you go. Down a little bit further up the lane, you can see it blended that a little bit better than the first one where it saw the friction just kind of took off.
So my early impressions of this compared to the original High Road is this is probably just a little more ball. I say like in that 1 to 3 board range, but it's not a side to side range. It's more what I'm seeing going front to back of the lane. I just see this ball going just a little more forward, not necessarily earlier or later, just a little more just dig in the lane. So I got that one a little bit in the oil, and it still digs in and goes through the pins. I think the original High Road would probably have stood up and gone forward really quick, and probably not gotten that hit.
Yeah, similar to kind of what Dan just said. I see out of this one a little bit more control front to back than the original, with it having a little bit bigger of a footprint on it. It seems like the window's a little bit larger. I love the original when there's a ton of friction, but when it sees the friction, it's so quick it ends up going forward off of it. Whereas this one's a little bit more round and continuous. And then controversy, or in between the two, I got kind of the Night Road, where the Night Road's quicker than this, a little bit slower than the High Road, which has kind of been my go-to bottom of the bag ball up until this point. So move, touch left off this one, still trying to get it a little bit more up the lane than that first one. There you go. Get much better than that shot right there. Okay. Very cool.
All right, I'm going to see if I can get this one to the right just a little bit more. I'm going to stand in the same spot that I did the last one.
Very sweet.
I did it forward already two-handed at first, but was mainly like before I got used to
So yeah, just a little bit more right.
Okay.
Still a pretty good shot.
Right. So I'm gonna just kind of keep cheating it left a little bit, kind of open up the lane until we get to a point where it's probably going to be a little bit too forward from that spot, and then that's probably where the night road would be. We'll look a little bit better from that point. Walked right by it.
They just don't like us striking on these videos.
No, apparently not. I was just about to talk about the AI Cortec carrying a little bit better, and then he walked by a 9-pin there.
All right, so the last shot I probably got in between the zones of the right and the left. So I'm going to move 2 left here and try to get it right of that zone I just left it in. I kind of left it in that in between. So I'm going to see if I can get that execute here. Yeah. So yeah, that was 2 left and probably 3 more right down the lane on the last shot. And as you can see, it comes out of the dry and out of the friction, but it doesn't try to hockey stick. It just kind of blends out the lane and saves enough power to still give you the light hit. So Josh, that's probably the AI core technology.
Might be at that point, yeah. Let's see. All right, I'm going to cheat another couple left here, and just slow it down a little bit more and see if we can throw another good one here. Ugh. A little too jammy, a little slow on that one. I think at this point, probably have a little bit better of a look with the night road if I was that far left. We'll give one more shot with the road and then end up going in the high road after that. Don't miss in practice, and then we turn the lights on and start doing that. All right, I'm going to bump back a little bit, kind of go to that bread and butter zone and see if we can get one more good one here before we switch balls.
Hiya.
There we go. I think that kind of game 3 of league, that's kind of where I would end up in this building, and that's looking pretty good from that zone. Any further left, I think the cover on it's going to be a touch too strong. You'll end up running into the friction on the left side of the lane from how tapered the house shot is.
I'm going to give you one more shot with this. I'm going to go one more board left from that high Hawk 7. I'm going to try and give the same tilt. Gave that more forward roll, and being in the oil, it's just gonna, that's just the house right there. I got caught. Now this is where I'm already seeing, a pin-up version of this for me would go right into that slot. I don't really think I'd have to change balls necessarily, just go to a different layout. The journey kind of pushes me back to the right just a little bit because of the Pearl versus the hybrid. I think it just pushes me back to the right, which just gets me in this house more in the danger zone, if you will.
Fair enough. All right, so I'm going to go to the original high road. This is actually one of my old goodies. It's the 2014 one. I personally think these are a little bit stronger, earlier, and smoother than the current ones. This has kind of been my go-to, like game 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the tournament, end of the block, but I really need something that's going to be super clean and responsive. But I'll just jump right into where I threw that last shot with the road. And I think from here, you're probably going to see it scoot quite a bit more. And then when it sees friction, it's just going to want to go a little bit more forward and have a quicker transition. That actually didn't look too bad from there, but it definitely quicker responsiveness to all the frictions compared to the road. I kind of just rolled off of it.
All right, so before I throw the Journey, I'm going to throw high road myself. Very similar layout, just slightly stronger on the pin distance. Still a 4 on the back, but a 4 on the first number versus 4 3/4. So I'm kind of expecting the same thing Josh sees, a little quicker, probably not as round. So I just went back to right with my feet and through where I did the last one. And just because that is a little quicker response, it just had a little more dig in it. But you can see the shape of it is definitely more, for me, more angular than the road.
All right. Jump another couple left here, kind of where I was seeing the early friction on the left part of the lane with the road, and I'll probably see this one scoot through it quite a bit easier and then be more responsive off of it down lane. Yeah, that for me is kind of the bread and butter zone for that ball when there's so much friction, and I know that they're developed enough right where I can kind of just stand left, and as long as I can get it between 10 and 4 down lane, it's going to strike on the softer conditions.
All right, I'm going to jump right into the Journey just because I don't want to go too far down the video so you can see the difference. I'm going to stand in the same spot that I just stood in. I kind of expect this might 2-8-10, but I don't want to strike with it because I want everybody to kind of really see the difference in the balls. So again, I'm trying to get it right around that tracer down the lane. I didn't 2-8-10, but it was very close to not getting there.
All right, so now I'm going to go into the night road and go back to, again, that bread and butter zone where I thought it was with the road. And for this one, it's also having the REX cover. It's got the Pearl versus the hybrid, so there's a little bit different additives in it. But I definitely see this one as being cleaner and more responsive than the road. But also a decent amount stronger than the high road too. So I think from this spot, it's probably going to end up seeing the friction and going high, or it might even end up going Brooklyn from here, which is how much quicker, but also being stronger than the original. Oh, we got that one going right a little bit far down lane, but whereas the last shot with the high road, I got it going right quick like that. You saw how much faster it responded to it, whereas that one blended it front to back a little bit better.
All right, I'll try to keep my feet under me with the Journey this time so we can get a really good shot. Again, this is pinned up compared to the other two. This is in that 4 3/4 range by probably 2 or 3, somewhere in between there, I forget. There's more friction. And as you can see, that's what I expected the last shot when I got my feet going everywhere. That one with my feet under me and a pretty good leverage. Journey's definitely longer, slower.
All right, so go back to the road, throw a couple more shots here to end it. Really liking what I'm seeing out of it so far. I think it's going to fit kind of the same spot as my night road, just kind of that bottom of the ball, or bottom of the arsenal for house shot tournaments. If I'm bowling on something a little bit lighter volume, I probably still need something a little bit weaker, like a high road pro, or a hustle, just with how strong the cover is. But I'm really liking how controllable and how big my window seems to be with this when they're hooking a decent amount. Ooh. God. Grabbed a handful of that one.
How much did you move?
I stayed in the same spot. I got to jump another left.
Right.
Yeah, I also grabbed a handful of that one and actually rolled it. So that one saw it pretty quick.
That's just too far. I went too far. So I tried to move 4 off of the last couple shots just to see. It's just the in this house that is the danger zone. The 5 pins in play on that too, just so everybody really understands. Probably doesn't matter what ball you throw at this point when you're in there.
Seems like the sweet spot for this house this year has been pretty far right, and you just got to avoid that middle 10 boards, the lane. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll jump another 3 left here and see if I can grab it just as much as the last one there and see if we can end on a good one. All right, pretty good. All right, end on a good one. No pressure.
All right, so I'm going to do what I just did. I'm just going to open up the angle. Josh just tends to get the ball through that buildup of oil a little bit better than I do with his, he's a little more forward than me, a lot more forward than me actually. So I'm going to try and I'm going to tuck the pinky here and try to give it just a little more angle. There we go. So that was really I didn't do much different there. Just cheated my eyes 2 more right. Gave the ball, a little more leverage on my feet. And ball really impresses me for how it blends off the dry. I actually really like that. So shorter, medium patterns on the sports stuff for sure. And like Josh said, on the house stuff, when there's friction to the right and we got to keep our feet to the right, it's probably going to be a really good ball to use to manipulate the ball speed and use the friction. Probably a little bit more than, a high road probably, or even the Journey.
Yeah, definitely seeing pretty similar things to what Dan's saying. Like a lot what I see is night road's been kind of that go-to bottom of the bag ball for now, and I think I'm probably going to end up subbing it out with the road and then end up throwing an original high road or a high road pro in there when I'm going to some centers that have a ton of friction. But if you like what you see in the video, head over to your local Storm VIP Pro Shop and grab your own today.